stop trying to do it all, plain and simple. Okay? Stop trying to do it all. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dr. Alicia, and on this channel, I help ambitious women improve their wellness and personal development so they can live happier, more fulfilling lives. In today's video, I'll be going over 3 time management tips that have helped me achieve a level of productivity that feels really balanced and also sustainable for me. So before we jump into the tips, I wanted to share my perspective on this whole time management productivity thing. I'm not a fan of hustle culture. I don't think that we should be, sacrificing our health, all of our free time, sacrificing sleep just for the sake of being productive. We often see things in the media like no days off, I'll sleep when I'm dead. And I think those messages can be really toxic if we are constantly in the habit of sacrificing really important things just for the sake of being productive. I think the whole point of these time management strategies are to allow us to work effectively so we can live a more well-rounded life. The whole point is not to fill our lives with work and to sacrifice all of these other areas, but we're able to do good work, take care of ourselves, and have fulfilling relationships. So let's jump into the tips. So the first time management tip that I found helpful is more of a mindset shift, and that's to stop trying to do it all. Many of us are not as productive as we'd like to be, or we struggle with managing our time simply because we're trying to do way too many things that we don't actually have the time or the capacity to do. I came across this quote that says, "You can do anything, but not everything." And I think that's so true. When we continuously add things to our plate that we don't actually have the time or the capacity to do, it's a really fast way to overstretch ourselves, create overwhelm that's not necessary, and eventually exhaustion when we can't get everything done. It's really hard to manage your time well or to be really productive when we have the habit of overfilling our plates to the point where it's chaos trying to keep up with everything. But the good part of all this is that life isn't, passively just happening to us. Every day we're making choices that influence what our day-to-day experience is like. What really helped me build the muscle of saying no, or at least making sure that I had the capacity to take on something new, was to realize that by saying yes to a new opportunity, I'm now saying no to something else that was already in my life. So that really helped me to take a step back and really evaluate, do I actually have the time to take this on before I say yes? So the second time management tip that I found helpful is to prioritize, reprioritize, and prioritize again. Prioritizing often is something that I absolutely have to do in order to manage my time well and to be really productive. There's a question that I ask myself pretty much every day, and it's a question that I got from the book Essentialism. And the question is, what is truly important right now? And this helps me to realize that our priorities are always changing, and we always have to come back to it to make sure that we're working on the most important things at the moment. So the act of prioritizing is something that happens often and at several different levels. So on a day-to-day level, it happens when I'm making my daily to-do list. Each week, I think about what are the top priorities for the week. Taking a step back, I do that on a monthly level, and then monthly level, quarterly level, and annual level. How we spend our time is ultimately how we spend our lives. So it's important to be really honest with ourselves when we're thinking about what our true priorities are. And I want to give you an idea of a little exercise that you can do to get really clear on your priorities. So for this exercise, you can grab a piece of paper and a pen, and I want you to write down the top 5 priorities in your life and why they're a priority for you. Then the second step is to take a look at your daily to-do list and the activities that you have scheduled on your calendar and see, do your daily task and do the scheduled events that you have Align with your overall priorities in your life. Knowing that everything isn't essential and everything can't be a priority, what activities or obligations can you get rid of in order to create space for what really matters to you? In order to prioritize the things that do really matter to you and to make sure that you're making time for them, I find it helpful to put those really important activities, putting them on your calendar, having a specific date and time to do whatever that activity is. Currently, I use a few different tools to help me stay organized and help me figure out what my priorities are. It's really important for you to do trial and error to see, which time management strategies really work well for you. So I use a combination of tools to plan. I use a digital tool, Trello. I use a pen and paper notebook called the Top 3 Notebook, created by Erin On Demand. And then I use Notion for organizing and storing my YouTube ideas. You'll have to figure out if you are more of a digital person, if you really like using digital tools for planning and prioritizing, or if you're more of a paper and pen person with a physical planner or notebook, or some combination of both. So let me know down in the comments, do you prefer digital tools for planning, paper and pen, or a combination of both? The third time management tip that I found helpful is to be very realistic with myself. I used to create super long to-do lists each day that was literally impossible to get done. And then I would feel really frustrated that I wasn't able to complete everything when in fact it wasn't realistic to begin with. So a tool that I use to help me be more realistic with my daily to-do list is using the Top 3 Notebook by Erin On Demand. So this notebook has space to list 3 top priorities for the day and then some space to list additional tasks at the bottom. It feels easier to get started on the items when it's a small list to work from. And once I finish those top 3 priorities, I mentally celebrate. I can feel really good once I accomplish those top 3 priorities and then move on to additional tasks that I've written below. I'm often able to get done more than just those 3 things, but narrowing it down to 3 keeps my to-do list realistic and also keeps my expectations in check. Any additional items that I get done after those top 3 priorities are just essentially bonus things. I've found that completing the top 3 priorities for the day creates momentum and I'm ready to accomplish several more tasks after that. So at this point in the video, we've gone over 3 time management tips that help me manage my time really well and to stay productive in a sustainable and balanced way. I hope that you found these tips helpful, even if they weren't new and earth-shattering. Something that I heard Erin from Erin On Demand say recently that really resonated with me is that we don't always need new tips and strategies. We often just need to implement the strategies that we already know. And that's so true, and I think applies really well to this whole time management concept. And of course, I couldn't fit in all of the time management strategies that I use in this one video. So let me know if you'd be interested in seeing a part 2 of this. While you wait for next week's video, check out this video on 8 healthy habits that changed my life. I think you'll enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found it helpful. If you enjoyed today's video, please subscribe and join the family. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay true to you. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel.